All right, so another month, truly the best month. Well, not that would say November because that's when my birthday is, but spooky season is here. It's October and probably going to be a little bit spooky just because, yes, another four pairs are gone. Didn't even sell them, just gave them away to friends. So let's just run these down really, really fast. And then I'll go ahead and address a common question I think people have when it comes to you getting rid of sneakers, whether it's selling them, whether it's, again, donating, giving them away. And that question is like, why don't you just wear them more? We'll get to that. But the four pairs that I decided to let go, you guys will see a rundown of them here on the screen. So drop them off to the same friend I always talk about. Again, one of my best friends in life, my stylist. I drop off so many things to her because we're pretty much the same shoe size. But then also my niece is very, very close to my shoe size. The 6.5s, the men's sevens, she can certainly wear those. And then clothing can go to nieces or nephews, doesn't matter. It's a mix as well as her. So when I'm cleaning out my closet, as I aggressively have been doing for the past 2 years, it's quite easy for me to just, again, give so many things to them. And so I also dropped off like a totally different box aside from the sneakers. And yes, some things in there are Michigan, but again, that's to outfit her so that when it is game day, she's good. She's set. Her husband is a Michigan fan, so we're trying to like indoctrinate her into this. And shout out to my team handling business. Okay, they did this past weekend against Wisconsin, and then we know like I'm wearing my Las Vegas Aces Asia Wilson shirt with all of the other faves on there. I really need us to sweep. That would be great, but this will probably come out after game 3, which is going to be in Phoenix, and that's going to be a test. That's going to be a feat, but I truly do believe in my team that we can go ahead and get this third ring. So let's jump in. Now, I find it super interesting. Okay, so one of the pairs that I gave to her is the Nike Lebron 16 low, the equality pair. If you guys remember, it came back in 2019. It intentionally had, of course, a black and white pair playing off of, again, equality within, I want to say, I'm not sure if it did drop in the month of February for Black History Month, but it very well could have. Let me see if I can check. Just before. So January 21st, 2019, I was still working at Kids Foot Locker at the time. So all of these were gifted in some way. This was gifted not by a brand or anything, but from my mom was like, hey, like, what do you want? I think it was like a Christmas gift. And I like literally begged her, don't give me anything for Christmas. But she was like, no, 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 I got to get you something. So finally I was like, hey, here's this. And then she didn't have to pay the full price because that's right, I had a discount at the time. If you take a look at the men's pairs, no joke, I would have never guessed this. So there was a size 10.5 for men that sold for $328. Like, there's not a market for that for a lot of my shoes, just because, again, I wear a smaller size is anywhere from a men's 6, more so 6.5 these days, to a men's 7. And I had to go down a half size in these because the 16 low ran rather big if you had ever tried it on. Quite roomy. And I think that does have to do with just the knit material on the upper, but all the bronze that I've ever had are beyond comfortable. They do feel a little bit heavier, beyond comfortable. This one was lighter, but I had this posted for like $30 on Poshmark, I think, for a minute, and it didn't sell. So I was like, whatever. I'm going to be heading out traveling anyway, so I won't be able to sell this, ship this, even if it does end up selling. So I was like, you've had your time. You've been posted for a month. Let me go ahead and just get rid of it. So the LeBron 16 low equality, that one is now gone. I said, hey, if you can find someone, again, their kid plays ball or is a big LeBron fan, or even like usually probably a woman that has a smaller foot, if she's a Bron fan, go ahead and gift that off to her. We know that he's in his 23rd season. He just had a preseason game, even though he didn't play, against my Warriors. So I'm excited. I think his 23 looks amazing too. So shout out to Nike for bringing that excitement back in Nike basketball. I think we've personally been missing that, so I'm really happy to see it here. The New Balance 990 V2. A lot of you even said this was like the grown man's Travis Scott fragment, the original one, not the new one. Even, and I'm guessing it's because it has black, blue, cream, and white in there. This one, this one was given away. One, again, it was seeded, gifted by friends at the brand, so didn't want to just sell that and make money off of that. But I have the 992, so not the 990 V2. I know this can get confusing. I have the New Balance 992. I love the colorway a lot more because it is in that Nimbus Cloud colorway. Again, I've already reached for that more than what I've reached for that 990 V2 in the past like 6 months, truthfully, to a year, because I do have other, I think, royal blue and white predominant shoes that I can just reach for. So I said, you know what? Let's just let it go. I think I'm learning to just rip that band-aid off a little bit more, especially as I have something come in from one brand that I automatically know, like, I'm going to wear this so much more. It does make it easier for you to just get one in, get one out as one comes in. And so the last two are going to be Yeezys. And you guys know, like, I was fortunate. I was blessed to not have to pay for so many of those, which is the one reason why I've tried my best to pay it forward and pass them along, have someone else enjoy these shoes. And again, they're in stellar, amazing condition. I've never had any concerns or complaints when it came to QC. So I think that is one thing that we can always kind of give respect to when it comes to these models. So the Fade Azure, the 700, I do love 700 models. I still have the V2 the static, have the Wave Runner, I have the Inflame Amber if you guys remember that. So still have those three. This 700 for the Fade Azure was actually a tad bit bigger. It was like a 7. That was the smallest size that they had actually got in at my friend's place for me to be able to have. I actually got to wear them early for my birthday. So heading into, I think, my 33rd birthday. Yeah, because it was in 2022. So heading into 33rd birthday and loved them. Thankfully, I didn't damage them because I decided to go out. First time going out to a club. Last time probably ever going out to a club, but wore them out. Went to a basketball game ahead of that. Was courtside. Again, great experience there. But they're another pair where wasn't wearing them like that. Like the understanding of how few of these pairs I was wearing over the past 2 years, it really hit. Even when you're like, oh, I need to run out somewhere, I need to run on a trip. Like if you are heading out to a trip, especially, and you're not reaching for a lot of pairs, it's kind of a sign. I'm just gonna say that it's kind of a sign. So knowing how comfortable they are as well and how well that they've held up or they do hold up, I'm like, you know what, either my niece will end up wearing them because she's on a college campus all the time, or my friend will wear them. She's a stylist, she's a salon owner, she's on her feet all day, 10, 12-hour days, she's on her feet. So I'm glad that she's scaling some of those hours back, managing that time a little better. But she's on her feet all the time. So if I'm able to help in any way, like absolutely listen, I'm trying to be that friend to come in and provide that value and that help to her. And so that pair is gone. And then finally, if you guys remember, one of the very last pairs before that whole split happened, the Yeezy 350 V2, the Beluga 2.0, the reflective one. So had that darker contrast on the upper of the shoe, but then again, the orange accents on there. She loves orange, so I can guarantee you she's going to end up keeping that, which is great. It's like an early Christmas gift, I guess, in a way. She loves orange, like anything that is orange, coral, anything within that color range family, she absolutely loves. And that was, again, I think one of the last pairs that really did drop. And the sizing was different on that. I will say that if you guys recall, or if you ever wore that model, I could always get away with a 6.5 easily, not having to take the insole out. And then when it got to this one, that 7 was a far better fit. Like going with a 6.5, I don't know if it would have fit that well. And I hadn't worn them in quite a while, right? So as I was giving these away, I remember I tried on like the 6.5 and the zebra, and it just felt so tight, like around the toe area. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but the knit itself felt so tight around the toe area. I'm like, I don't even know if I would want to, reach for this right now. I just don't. And so for the question of why don't you just wear them more, I think if you have to ask yourself that, and you don't just naturally end up reaching for them, it's almost like you're trying to force something that you've already moved past.
That is so fetch. Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
And it's okay. I think we start to feel weird because either, again, something is in stellar or amazing condition. We were blessed and fortunate enough to not have to pay for it, which that was a position that I've been in for quite a few shoes that I'm giving away. You can't keep everything. But where it's one of those two things, or it's also, well, I could wear it, but like, you could, but how much did you? How often did you? Like you had ample opportunity to be able to do that, and you probably didn't. So if you have to, ask that question, in relation to the other questions I said, hey, in a recent video, maybe pose these 5 questions to yourself. If you're trying to declutter, get rid of some things that you're not wearing, it may be able to, kind of lift that burden or lift that weight off of you for the reality to show that, like, yeah, you should just go ahead and get rid of it. So yeah, I could wear them more, but I haven't been wearing them in the last 6 months, in the last year, in the last 2 years. Like the writing is on the wall. Just accept the reality. The writing is on the wall. You had them for a season, maybe even multiple seasons. Great. Clearly it's not where you are in life right now. So just go ahead, pass them along, be a blessing to someone else, pay it forward. I promise you it always comes back. Or you can choose to sell it. It's just not something I've chosen to do based on the way in which I've acquired a lot of shoes. So this is just an update. Hopefully you caught my recent video, which should be prior to this one, which again, I share my thoughts were probably not the typical rundown of everybody that you've seen on the Cool Kick situation, just more so observations that I've had about everything. And again, even like I said there, hopefully you are enjoying life in the shoes that you already own and you already have. But if you are going for anything this weekend, you know that I'm always rooting for you, cheering for you. I hope that you're secured and get it. For me, I'm not. And it feels great to not have to actually be chasing after pairs. Like I just want to say that it does, just to be able to wake up, focus on so many other things. I'm content with that. Certainly, I've gotten in other things like new things, the Timberland Stone Street boat shoe. You guys can check that out. The video didn't do that great here, but in terms of the reels, you guys do appreciate the styling there, and I always appreciate you tuning in. So, as always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.